Hey everybody, what's going on? Harley Q back with another video, and today we are talking about remasters and remakes, specifically the ones that I would like to see be remastered or remade for current gen systems. Now, there are so many games that which you can choose from that could be brought, whether it's from a port or to be completely redone or just have a quick little overhaul. So we're kind of gonna go through my choices, but before we get started, I'd like to hear what you guys have to say on the topic. Is there certain games that you'd like to see remastered? Is there ones you'd like to see remade, or would you like to see them ported over to current systems? It could be one of each, or it could be just one game that you love so much, that you've dedicated so much time to, that you'd like to see it on the Switch, or the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, or Xbox Series X, is that what they're calling it? Still don't know the name of the new Xbox, or as I like to call it, the PC. My choice, the PC. I usually play most of my games on my PC. So yeah, just make sure to leave a comment below telling me what you think of that. So I have my little list here on my phone, and these probably don't make much sense to anyone, because why would they? And I will kind of go through and explain. You know, personally, all of the ones that I would like to do, I'd like to have a complete overhaul, remade, remastered, probably actually more completely redone rather than just ported over to current systems. Although if the choice was to just port it over and play it, I would accept it, because these games to me are just amazing. Some of them are actually highly underrated, and some of them, or at least one of them, is one I've mentioned a couple times on the channel, and basically nobody's ever heard of this game, and it's one of my favorite games. I don't exactly have a particular order, it's kind of random. The ones that I would really like to see are will be mentioned last. So, the first one I will mention is Elite Beat Agents, and this was obviously for the original DS, and I actually used to play my sister's copy a lot, but I recently purchased a copy for myself off of eBay, because I have not been able to find this game anywhere. This was a weird rhythm game. The DS tend to have a lot of games that we had to keep up with a certain beat or do certain things with the stylus, but the way that the DS had incorporated the beats and moving the stylus to the music and all of that was just really cool. I mean, I know we had games like Rock Band and Guitar Hero where you had rhythm-based stuff, and that was really cool, but there was something about the stylus and the movement and the tapping that was just incredible, and I would love to see something like this on the Switch. I know the Switch there's touchscreen on it, so it is capable of doing these things. I'm not sure how they would incorporate this in the newer gen systems, but I definitely could see this being a really fun game to play, especially on the Switch. But I definitely could see this being a really, really fun game to play for current gen and getting current gen music, because ever since this game came out, I have been singing Walkie Talkie Man. It doesn't matter. It does not matter the context. Whenever this game came out, whatever year it was, I've been singing Walkie Talkie Man since that year. I freaking love this game. It's such a good game. It's such a weird game too. It's so the videos that play while you're doing your beats are super weird. It's definitely like a what kind of a game, but super, super worth it. So if you haven't played Elite Beat Agents, you should find somebody who has a copy of this game. It's not a super expensive game, and it's worth every penny, in my opinion. Super fun game. The next one I have, which I would not be surprised if this one was made, especially with the game that just came out, you know, just a couple months ago, and that choice is Pokemon Stadium, both 1 and 2. I would like to see either new adaptations of Pokemon Stadium, or just these two being remade. I love Pokemon Stadium, I love the minigames, I think they're really cool, and I think this would be a really cool thing to bring to modern audiences. The fact that you were able to play Pokemon Stadium on that N64, and you got to see your Pokemon on the big screen, I know that's kind of normal now with all the Pokemon games, but, you know, this was just such a cool part of my childhood, and I think this would be really fun to show other children how cool Pokemon is, because I mean, Pokemon Snap recently just came out, and everyone really loved Pokemon Snap. It seemed to review very well, so maybe Pokemon Stadium is in the works? That would be really, really cool if they did that, because these two games were solid games. I actually played Pokemon Stadium more than I played Pokemon Snap. No. Yes, I mean I did. I played more Pokemon Stadium 1 rather than Pokemon Stadium 2. Not that I didn't play Pokemon Stadium 2, but I owned Pokemon Stadium 1. I only knew people that played Pokemon Stadium 2. So I didn't really get that much until I was a little older. Still a very solid game, but I have much more time in the original Pokemon Stadium, and that Sandshrew game, you still can't beat me on it. I'm undefeated. So, just, you know, I'm putting it on my college resume. Anyway, I do think that that would be a really awesome game to definitely incorporate for a remake or a remaster. I definitely could see it being just, oh my god, it's just such a good game. So the next one that I have, this is actually one of the most expensive games that I own. I only have a couple that are probably worth a large amount of money, but this one, Toomba? I always call it Toomba, but I'm pretty sure it's Toomba. Toomba for the PlayStation 1, and this is just because this was such a weird game. I've kind of mentioned this before that I would like to play this, and especially have this for modern audiences. It's a platformer. I definitely could see a lot of people enjoying this, especially because platformers tend to be, or a lot of people tend to really still like platforming games. So this is such a weird game. The soundtrack to the game is really upbeat and cool. It just looks really awesome. Even, you know, even though the game is 20-something years old, it still looks really awesome. And I just think that a lot of people would really enjoy this game if they brought it to modern systems. I definitely could see myself playing this on my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/parleycuse_playtime. You should probably check me out there. Okay? But yeah, so I would say definitely Toomba would be a really awesome game to bring to modern audiences. Definitely, I would just play a port of it. Honestly, I love that game so much just the way it is, but I definitely could think that maybe like a remaster would definitely be something really nice for it. Kind of make the graphics look nicer, because apparently that matters to people. And also, it's just a really fun game, and like I always say this about a lot of these really high-priced games. I've noticed that usually when the remaster comes out or a remake of it comes out, the price of the original tends to drop. It usually holds on to its value for a little bit before the game comes out, and as soon as the game comes out, the value tends to drop. We have seen that happen with Final Fantasy VII. We have seen that happen with Battle for Bikini Bottom. We've seen it happen especially recently with Super Mario Sunshine. I forgot the name of it. Yeah, Super Mario Sunshine. That game was like almost like an $80, $60, $80 game last year around this time. Now it's like a $40 game, which is insane to me. I had someone actually try to sell it to me at a flea market for $45.
How much for Mario Sunshine? 45, okay.
And if it was that time last year, I would have dove for that price. I actually almost did. And thank God I price charted it, because I was like, that's too high for somebody who doesn't know the value of that game, and it's too low for what I remember the value being. So always question yourself when people are trying to sell you games. If the price doesn't sound too bad, doesn't sound too good either, price chart it. Not gonna hurt you. Take an extra 5 seconds. So I'm so glad I did, because I would have dropped $45 on the game that was worth like $40, so just saying. That's my little side rant. You know, those come at least one per video. The next one that I'm going to talk about is, well, I've talked about this one a million times on this channel, and I will continue to talk about it a million times more, and I keep saying I'm going to do just a game review of this game. I think if I do one, this will definitely be the first game that I actually sit back and review, because I have so much to say about it. I feel like every time someone asks me what my favorite game is, or why I like video games and all stuff, it always kind of boils down to this one. There's something just really magical about this game for me. It could just be a funny story I had with my mom, but I just think it was just a game I really enjoyed as a kid, and that is Guardians Crusade. This game is probably, I'm gonna say it, and someone is probably gonna hit me for this game to me is the most underrated game of all time, and someone's gonna fight me on this. It's a generic JRPG game, you know, I'm sure someone's gonna say something like that, but to me, this game, it was so quirky, it definitely could have used much better looking graphics, because the graphics do not do the game justice at all. It looks absolutely horrible. The graphics are not great, especially for the PlayStation, and especially at the time of the PlayStation. It came out very late in the original PlayStation's life cycle, so part of the reason why it didn't do so well was because of that. Part of the reason it didn't do so well is because it was this weird game with a pink little rabbit thing, and then the other part was it was just, you had other games like Final Fantasy VII that were out at the time, and people really wanted that game, so, you know, just bunch of things were not working well for this game. But if you actually look at this game, the detail of this game, you will realize that this game is an absolute treasure of a game. Guardians Crusade. So that one would be my number 2. And the only reason why it's number 2 is because my number 1 is just, it'll make more sense when I say number 1, at least for me. But yeah, Guardians Crusade, like I said, they're definitely at some point, maybe over the summer, when I actually have a lot more free time, I'm going to definitely do a whole review on that game, because I need to sit down and actually write a script for it, do research on the game, because it's going to be a whole background of everything, because it's just such a good game. Such a good game. And last, but certainly not least, and the reason why I picked this particular one is because when I first saw this game, and I'm talking about whenever this game came out, like 2003 or whatever. So, when this game came out in 2002, little baby Harley was at her neighbor's house who had the game and was playing it, and, you know, little baby Harley was so, like, by the graphics. I remember running home, I don't know why I'm running like this, but I'm running home to come tell my dad about the incredible game my neighbor had. I ran home to tell him about the incredible graphics that this game had. It's like, looking back at those graphics, I remember telling him how real it looked. It looked like you were really there and those were real people. That game was Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Now, for the time, the graphics were really good, especially for the PlayStation 2, I think, at least. They were really good graphics. And everything about that game is incredible. The soundtrack, the voice acting, you have, like, all of these really famous voice actors in this game. And just everything, the story was just so good. Like, I still play Vice City to this day. It is my favorite Grand Theft Auto game of all time. People are gonna say Grand Theft Auto 5. Some people are gonna say San Andreas. It's not that I didn't like San Andreas, it's just that, to me, Grand Theft Auto Vice City was just so much better than San Andreas, so I decided to choose, obviously, Vice City. San Andreas was okay. I didn't really like the story as much. I wasn't really invested in the story. I didn't really like CJ as a character as opposed to Tommy Vercetti. I felt like I could relate more to Tommy Vercetti, just his angriness. CJ was like, Tommy Vercetti was much more vocal in how he felt, whereas CJ was much more of a quiet character.
Oh shit, here we go again.
So, and the lines that Tommy Vercetti said were a lot more funny to me, and I felt like CJ didn't really say too much. And it was really annoying that you always had to feed CJ, but I did like making him throw up, so I mean, I don't know. There were things I liked about San Andreas that were really cool. I loved all the customizations that you could do to CJ, but there's just, to me, there's just more of an appeal to Vice City for me. I don't know, like I said, to me the story was more appealing, and, you know, that's my opinion. Someone's probably gonna hate me for that, and, you know, I guess that's just how it's gonna be. I definitely think that overall Vice City would be a great game to remaster, remake, and also bring to modern systems. Just the way that they brought the 80s to life was really cool, and, you know, the music they used, the soundtrack, oh my god, the soundtrack to that game. I still listen to that soundtrack today, because it was such a good soundtrack. The radio conversations that you have are still hilarious. Like, everything about that game is so cool. And like I said, I still play it. I play it with my dad. It's one of his favorite games of all time. And at some point, we'll have him stream it on Twitch with me, because I think it would be hilarious to watch him stream it. But yeah, it was his favorite game, so I play a lot of it if I go visit him. And he's loves that game so much. It's just such a fun time, because you can just drive around Vice City and just do a bunch of things. There's so much extra content. That's with most Grand Theft Auto games, but I definitely feel like just the beach atmosphere of Vice City and just everything would be really cool being brought to life. And that's pretty much all I gotta say. Anyway, that has been the video. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter and Twitch and TikTok. You know, I haven't made a TikTok. I'll probably make a TikTok later today. But yeah, make sure to follow me on my social medias. And make sure to leave a comment below. And again, what game would you like to see remastered, or remade, or brought to modern systems, or whatever you want to call it, because there's too many names for everything. So I definitely just... Oh, what game would you like to play? Just tell me. I'll let you know. Anyway, that's been the video. Try to stay safe out there. And I'll see you next time.